Hey everybody, real quick before we get started, I just want to give you all a disclaimer that this show is not intended for children. It's not intended for people who are easily offended. We're going to be discussing some serious topics, but we're also going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get crazy, we're going to get wild, going to get silly. I will probably end up saying some things that you will have a hard time believing. Things that would honestly give a Navy SEAL nightmares, okay? I'm going to say things that would cause the devil himself to convert to Christianity. All right? You smelling what I'm selling? So, in short, if you can't handle the heat, take your dick out of the oven. All right, with that out of the way, let's get into the show. Welcome, one and all, to the very first episode of After Prom. I am your host, James Raymond, and I'm very, very excited to be doing this. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Long-ass time. I love podcasts. I listen to a shit ton of podcasts. And I just thought this would be really fun. I know I'm, only 5, 6, 8 years late on the whole podcast thing, but better late than never, right? But no, I'm really excited to be doing this, and I want this to be fun. I want this to be entertaining, of course, but I do also want to get serious on here and be real. I want to talk about a lot of things. There are certain particular things that interest me, like music and pop culture and mental health, but I think a lot of the time I'll just be discussing life in general, maybe current events. And in case you're wondering, the name After Prom, for those of us who have been lucky enough to go to prom, and fun fact, I actually went to 4 proms in a row with 7 different women. But for those of us who have been to prom, we all love the dance. The dance is fun, and the girls love putting on the dresses and getting the pictures, and there's always a theme, and that's all well and good. But we all know that the real shit happens at After Prom. The real memories get made late in the evening when everyone's getting silly. So that's the sort of energy I want to bring to this podcast. It will be everything and anything. It will be a nightmare inside of a dream. It will be an enigma wrapped in beautiful poetry. It will be a supernova wrapped in a black hole, and we are all going to hell while holding hands, singing Kumbaya. That is what I want to bring to this show. And as much fun as it would and will be for me to simply sit here and scream into the endless void, as entertaining as I'm sure that would be, I really do want to have guests on this show because, for one thing, I'll be honest, this is a little difficult for me. Not just because I'm not a great speaker. I do tend to get hung up on my words when I speak for long periods of time, as I'm sure you'll come to see, and I do apologize for that. I hope that this podcast helps to improve my speaking skills, but it's also difficult for me because I cannot stand the fucking sound of my own voice. I know that sounds kind of ironic and a little hard to believe, but trust me, every time I hear my voice recorded back, my ears start to bleed because I didn't realize until I started this show that I have a horribly cringy Midwestern accent, and it will haunt my nightmares forever. But no, I do want to have guests on this show because, I think it would be a lot more entertaining and interesting to have other people on here to have an actual conversation. Preferably people who have different backgrounds and views from my own. I think that we could have some really interesting conversations. So if you are listening to this and you're interested in being on the show, I would love to have you. So let me know. But I thought that since it is just me for now, I should probably introduce myself. My name is James Raymond. I am your typical, slightly above average American male living here in the Midwest. Just a small town guy making a silly show on the internet. And I thought that with this first episode, maybe I could sort of give you a little bit of a background to get you all caught up for those of you who don't know me personally. And that reminds me, I realize as I'm doing this that it must be kind of strange for anyone listening who does know me personally, because I'm sure they'll tell you that I am not a very outgoing person normally. I don't typically talk a lot or share my thoughts, and that's also another reason that I wanted to do this show. And trust me, it's weird for me too. But as I said, I thought this would be really fun, and so here goes nothing. But no, I'll give you a little bit of a background. I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which you know how a lot of cities have nicknames, right? You got New York, the Big Apple, Los Angeles, hell. Cedar Rapids has had a couple of nicknames over the years. I remember back when I was a child, it was called the City of Four Seasons. Or maybe it was the City of Five Seasons. I can't remember. There was multiple seasons, but I think it was City of Five Seasons. And I was always told that it was called that because that's how long it would take to drive from one end to the other due to traffic. And, of course, then people later started calling it the City of Five Smells. There's a factory, the Quaker Oats factory, located in the middle of the city, and every time you drive by, you would smell cereal or whatever it is they put in the cereal. Very strong smell, but anyway, the point is, nowadays, Cedar Rapids has a new nickname, Little Chicago. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that that's probably not a compliment if people are calling your city Little Chicago. But anyway, I was born there, but my hometown was a little spot on the map called Shellsburg, which we affectionately called Hellsburg, because there was a meth lab on every corner. I'm kidding. There's probably just a couple meth labs. You know how each region of the United States is kind of known for something? Like the West Coast is known for the entertainment industry and I was going to say good weather. Maybe not so much nowadays, but... And then you have the Northwest, which is known for rain, heroin, and homelessness. Well, would you like to guess what the Midwest is known for? It's known for corn, methamphetamines, and butter sculptures. So yeah, it's a great place to raise kids. But no, in all seriousness, I do love the Midwest. I've spent most of my life here, as you will soon learn, but I started out here at least, in Shellsburg. My father was, and I believe still is, a preacher. I'm not close to him. I never really was close to him. And as you can imagine, being the son of a preacher came with its own challenges right from the get-go, which I'm sure I will probably talk about at length at some point. Not in this episode, but in the future. Unfortunately, when I was fairly young, I believe about 5 years old, my mother passed away from leukemia, which from what I understand is a disease either connected to or similar to cancer, something having to do with the white blood cells. I haven't done that much research on it, but unfortunately she passed away, and after that we kind of just started moving around. I don't want to go into a terrible amount of detail. I'll spare you the boredom of that, but just kind of a list of places that I've lived. I've lived in several places here in Iowa. Fort Madison. I went to high school in a town called North English, but I've also lived quite a few places outside of Iowa, including, Michigan, Maryland, Arkansas, Kansas. At one point, we spent 2 weeks in Louisiana for seemingly no reason. It was a very strange situation, which I might go into later, but suffice to say, I've seen a decent amount of the eastern half of the United States and some of the western half. And you may be wondering, well, why did we move around so much? And I wish I had a good answer for you. The thing that my father would always say, of course, when it was time to move again, is he'd say, well, God is calling me to this place, or God told me that we need to go to that place. Well, could we maybe get God a drug test? Because that shit doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I don't want to turn this into a therapy session. That's not why I'm here. But so yeah, the point is I've been around, and but Iowa, as boring and simple as it is my home, and I briefly attended college here in Ottumwa, which we refer to as Ascumwa. Believe me, for good reason. It is essentially the Mos Eisley of Iowa. And yes, that was a Star Wars reference for all you fucking nerds out there. God damn it. Don't even get me fucking started on Star Wars, son of a bitch. When Disney... sorry to go off on a tangent, but I gotta get this off my chest. Yeah, I used to love Star Wars, as a lot of people did, right? A lot of us grew up with it. And, back in 2015, when it was announced that... Or actually, it was before that, but it was announced that Disney was taking over Star Wars and that they were making new films. Like everyone else, I was very excited. And even after that first film came out, it was really exciting, and then it just went to shit. And it's clear that they really didn't have a plan from the get-go. They completely dropped the ball on something that should have been just an absolute home run for them. But I digress. That's a topic for another time, I suppose. But oh, Jesus Christ. This thing's already going off the rails. It's only the first fucking episode. What is this, a train in Ohio? Anyway. So, that's a little background on me, just to try and get back on track. I'm currently residing here in the beautiful Cedar Valley. I'm very happy to be here. It is my favorite place in the world, and I feel very fortunate to have ended up here, which is really a story in itself that I would love to tell sometime. But for the time being, I believe that it might be time for our very first ad read. This show is brought to you by Cornholio brand bathroom tissue. Guys, we all know that there are certain things in life where you can afford to skimp on, right? You can afford to get the cheap brand. Things like paper towels, gasoline, your child's asthma medication. But we also know that there are certain things where you just want the best of the best. And that includes what kind of ass napkins you use. Now, sure, you could go with those other big brands, right? You got the one with the creepy looking angel baby thing, and then the one with the bears that are obsessed with shitting for some reason. Even though we all know the bears don't even use toilet paper, they don't even use the bathroom. We all know where the bears go to the bathroom, don't we? Anyway, my point is, when you want the best in bathroom tissue, you reach for Cornholio. All right? So treat yourself and get some Cornholio brand bathroom tissue. Cornholio. They've got more teepee for your bunghole. And now, back to the show. But anyway, guys, you know what? I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but fuck it. I would like to take this opportunity to make a very exciting announcement that I have decided to officially endorse a candidate for the upcoming 2024 presidential election. I've never really gotten involved in politics. I don't enjoy politics, but as I've gotten older, I've started paying more attention to them, and I decided that it was time for me to start getting involved. So I would like to announce that I am officially endorsing someone. And when it comes to the person that should be running this amazing, beautiful country of ours, there really only is one choice. I think we all know where this is going. That's right. I have chosen to endorse Doja Cat for President 2024. Doja Cat. Because, guys, we all know she keeps it juicy, juicy. She eats that lunch. And as a matter of fact, I believe that's going to be the platform that she runs on. Doja Cat is going to feed America because, one of the biggest challenges facing this country is the fact that we just don't have enough food. The average American is not eating enough. This is a serious issue. So Mama Doja, she's going to fix this up. And she's going to keep it juicy. You might be wondering, well, that's all well and good, but who's going to be her running mate? Well, I got you covered there too. For vice president, I am endorsing Chuck Norris, who is going to roundhouse this country back into shape. So guys, when it comes time to make your way to the polls here in a little while, I just want you to remember Doja and Norris 2020. They're going to get into it, yeah. But you know, guys, we live in a crazy time. Let's be real, okay? The whole world's gone insane. Everything's burning. There's there's people with blue hair on the internet trying to tell us what bathrooms to use. Our last president was a Cheeto. Our current president can't make it up a flight of stairs. Cats and dogs are living together. It's mass hysteria. It's a clown show. So we need to laugh. We need to have a good time. Because, guys, we know the end is near. This can't go on forever, right? Any day now, the big one's coming. We all know it. That's right. The sequel that's 80 years in the making. I'm talking about WW3. It's on its way. And folks, when that day comes, when the bombs start to drop, and you're huddled in your homes with your family, your loved ones, shaking in terror, waiting to be eviscerated in a fiery atomic blast, I hope that in that moment you are listening to this show. So I think I'll wrap it up there. I know it was a short one, but I'm just getting started here, folks. Bear with me, okay? It's a learning process. It's an adventure. And I'm taking you all with me. I'm marching you right up to the gates of hell. But I thought it might be good to end this first episode with an inspirational quote from Mother Teresa, who once famously said, "A few times I've been around that track, but it's not just going to happen like that. 'Cause I ain't no holla back girl. No, I ain't no holla back girl." Wow. Mother Teresa, what a wise and inspiring woman. Well, guys, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. And I will see you all on the next episode of After Prom. Good luck out there, guys. And remember to keep it juicy, juicy.